A diagnosis and the effect of a disability with a family and an individual with Downs should be the norm and not the exception. Chapter 4 states that this is simply not the case. Society will continue to treat those affected with Downs and their families as exceptionalities. The intersection of a disability and identity lies within each person and their perception of disability and the contributing experiences of which society has engaged them in. If the society engages them correctly, the end result will be a wonderful life, like my friend Carly. Downs should not stop students from having friends and relationships. It should not stop these people from having jobs. Or getting married and having a serious relationship. In the 1930s and even into almost the 1970s, many were confined to the state hospitals, separated from society. They often had little mental or physical stimulation or contact with the outside world. This stunted their overall growth as an individual. In Ted Kennedy's family, his sister went 20 years without seeing her mom. Finally, he began to investigate this situation. When his sister finally saw her mom, she had strong anger and separation anxiety when reunited. This is very common with the frustrations of communicating if you have Downs. He found the living conditions for his sister horrific and wanted things changed. By the 1970s, with the exposure of Ted Kennedy's sister through the public media, society began to realize that it was okay to be around those with a mental health disability. Most importantly, society began to realize the stimulation could cause intelligence and growth of these wonderful children. Utilizing mental, physical, and social interventions, these students could be very contributing members of society. It was realized that these people had feelings too. Still, the fact remains that when children are born with birth defects, families do not have a guidebook of information. Today, 1 in every 800 births has Downs. Still, what you see on the outside is truly not what is on the inside. Chapter 4 noted that by the 1970s, parent support groups were springing up and literature was being sent out about resources as to what to do when your child is born with Downs. It was noted that by the late 1990s, that people with Downs were having loving relationships and even getting married. In the 1980s, early intervention, which included ages 0 to 5, and particularly 0 to 3, could actually assist the families and the students with leading more productive lives. Early intervention then led to mainstreaming and teaching society how to interact with those with mental or physical disabilities. In 2007, the American College of OB/GYNs recommended procedures such as a sonogram to check for birth defects prior to birth. An amniocentesis was more invasive and it required sampling of the amniotic fluid. This was a bit risky, but many families with high prospects of having a genetically defective child could consider this to prepare for such an incident. One important note from the book is that those people with children of Downs want to make it known that they feel they have learned so much from a child with Downs that it has made them who they are today. Their overall feeling is that they are much better today than who they would have been otherwise, not working and loving a person with Downs.